Well, that brings me to my next question, because as the Biden campaign tries to work with his missteps, the Democratic Party as a whole seems to be facing nothing but potential missteps at every turn. If they're considering replacing the top of the ticket, isn't it really, really late in the calendar?
Well, it really is, but frankly, they're facing absolute doom at the polls. Think about it: 57% of Trump voters say they're very excited about voting for him, and I think it is like 29% of Biden voters say they're very excited about voting for him. A couple of months ago, 2 months ago, it was 37% of Trump voters were excited about voting for him, and 37% of Biden voters were very excited about voting for him. The situation has deteriorated, and who thinks that it's going to turn around? It's not. So better to in politics, things go in a certain direction as long as they can, and then they don't. Well, we're reaching the moment where people are going to say, you know what, no way in heck is that guy going to be able to get my vote or the votes of enough Americans to get reelected. And if you want to lose as a Democrat and throw the election away, great, stick with him. But I don't think that's how most Democrats are thinking. I bet you that he is gone. He's bleeding out, and his campaign is bleeding out in front of us, and it's going to end shortly.
I don't often agree with Karl Rove, but hey, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? He's right. Biden's campaign is bleeding out right in front of our very eyes as the calls for him to step down are growing by the hour. And if Biden thought he could quell those calls with his agenda over the weekend, he was sorely mistaken. We're going to take a look at the latest disasters to befall the Biden campaign, and we're going to see what to expect in the days and weeks ahead. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, gang, every week I'm very passionate about the fact that we cannot rescue our nation if we don't first take care of ourselves. And our health actually starts with our livers. I mean, think about it. We throw everything at our livers: cholesterol, toxins, alcohol, Tylenol, statins, cigarettes, you name it. That's why so many of us have a sluggish, fatty liver. It makes us gain weight and lose energy. But thanks to today's sponsor, there's a very real solution. Liver Health Formula is an all-natural supplement. It contains 12 clinically proven botanicals that help recharge and protect your liver. It's manufactured right here in the USA and approved by independent American doctors. And if you click on that link below right now, you can actually try Liver Health Formula, and you're going to receive a free bottle of blood sugar formula when you order today. So don't let a fatty liver keep you sluggish and inactive. Gang, as many of you know, I myself recently lost over 60 pounds, and I could say it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And now it's your turn. Click on that link below or go to getliverhelp.com/Turley and claim your free bonus gift. That's getliverhelp.com/Turley. So the story this weekend was that the Biden campaign has basically gone from this simply could not possibly get any worse to, oh, it just got a whole lot worse, a whole hell of a lot worse. I mean, every time we think that the Biden campaign is bottomed out, it falls further. As I'm sure you all know by now, the weekend began with Biden's utterly disastrous interview with Clinton campaign donor and longtime Democrat operative Georgie Stephanopoulos. It was about as a softball interview as you could possibly get, and even then, Biden blew it. It was yet again another failed effort at trying to assuage the fear of panicked Democrats that's literally growing by the second. Here is former Obama official David Axelrod.
Well, the question is, did he change the minds of voters who were watching that? I don't really think so. You know, Jim, I think the thing, and some of it I found sad, but he seems not to be able to compute the fact that people have these questions about him. He said, when George Stephanopoulos asked him if he'd be willing to take a cognitive test, he said, I take a cognitive test every day. Well, the fact is that may be true, but 75% of the American people think he failed. That he fails. I mean, they've lost. And so this is a real problem for him, and it's something that shows up in every poll. And in terms of where he stands in the race, no politician out there will has the same perception that the president does, that this is a tied race, and he's right in the hunt right now. He was 10 points ahead 4 years ago. He's 6 points behind now, worse in most of the battleground states, and now in danger of losing states that weren't thought to be in contention. So what you see, Jim, you saw it in Wisconsin today. Tammy Baldwin, the senator from Wisconsin, wasn't at this event. Why? Because she's up for re-election, and it's not helpful to her to be seen with the president. This is what's going to happen, and somebody really needs to be honest with him about it. It's not. It can't be the good Lord, but it should be the people who love and care for him and his closest advisors. His portrait of where he is in this race doesn't comport with reality.
It was sad. That was Axelrod's assessment of the softball interview. It was sad. And he's right. That's exactly what it is for more and more people. I was talking with a good friend of mine at church on Sunday who made that exact observation. This is actually getting very personal for more and more people. Millions of voters who've cared for loved ones, elderly loved ones in these conditions, they can spot the symptoms miles away. And when they see Biden, they see those loved ones. It really begins to hurt more and more people. More and more people are taking what Jill and Biden's inner circle are doing to him personally, and they find it absolutely cruel. Here's Martha Raddatz of ABC News right after the interview.
Stop the clock.
No, no one can stop the clock. And this is about age. That's exactly what that's about. And this will dominate this campaign. Aging is not like a broken bone. It doesn't get better. So there is an opportunity every time he goes out, every time Joe Biden goes out, that he will show his age. I mean, he said he is not more frail. You ask him, you told him, you say, watch me. Everyone is watching, and believe me, they are going to be watching even more closely as we go forward, George.
And here's John Karl.
But there was nothing in this interview that is calming nerves of jittery Democrats who fear that Joe Biden is on a trajectory to lose this race, to lose to Donald Trump. In fact, for some of those people, the interview is raising new concerns. Particularly the fact that he is unwilling or unaware of the fact that he is in a dire situation here regarding the campaign, that he is losing in the view of many Democrats. And frankly, in the polls you cited, that he is losing to Donald Trump.
He's losing. I mean, that's ultimately what all of these left-wing activists disguised as journalists are freaking out over. Biden is losing. Make no mistake, they wouldn't give a rip about his age or his cognitive condition if Biden were winning. If Biden were ahead, if he had a commanding lead in all the polls, you can be sure you wouldn't be seeing any of this panic. They only care about power. When all said and done, the Democrats and the legacy media are freaking out for one reason only. That power is slipping through their fingers. Biden is losing. But of course, that's just how the weekend started. Biden went on to continue to embarrass himself at a rally in Wisconsin. Take a look.
Well, guess what? They're trying to push me out of the race. No! Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I'm staying in the race. I'll beat Donald Trump. I will beat him again in 2020.
He's right. He's staying in the race. I'm staying in the race. I'm going to beat Donald Trump in 2020. And then he made his way to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, to attend a black church in order to rescue his sagging poles in the black community. And it wasn't pretty.
Let us stand together, oh, at the cross, at the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burdens of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight, and now I am happy.
And in case you thought it couldn't get worse, you had this.
But look, even when I was running for Senate And each time I ran, quite frankly, not a joke, Philadelphia in particular, got me across the line. No, I'm not joking. No, I mean it seriously, organizationally and in terms of fundraising, the whole deal. But look, here's the deal. This election is going to be about block and tackling, simple, basic politics, simple. It's going to be a matter of how many signs we get out, how many doors we knock on, how many calls we make, and how many requests we answer.
That's right. Every time Sleepy Joe ran for senator over the last decades, it was always the city of Philadelphia that rose up and gave him the votes he needed to win. Just one problem, he was senator from Delaware. He ran for Senate in another state. I mean, I know it's cruel to laugh here, but again, the point I'm trying to make is whenever you think this campaign has hit rock bottom, think again. Joe is the gift that just keeps on giving in all kinds of ways. In sad way. I mean, it could be based on what he says, what's coming out of his mouth, or what's not coming out of his mouth, like in the debate. It could be that 25th Amendment stare he has. It could be the painful shuffle that he has for walking. I mean, the whole Biden brand is an irreversible freefall right now. Take a look at the latest from Nate Silver, the Democrat wonder kid pollster. According to Silver's calculations, Biden's chances of re-election have dropped to just 28%. And he's saying that even that's probably too high. Needless to say, Silver is also joining a growing chorus of calls for Biden to step down. Even the rabid left-wing ideologue Rob Reiner, Meathead, has turned against Biden. Now Meathead is calling on Biden to drop out. I mean, when you've lost Meathead, you've lost the rabid far-left base of your party. So what should we be looking for in the coming days? Well, something very, very interesting is happening right now as we speak. Former DNC chair Donna Brazile was talking about this over the weekend. Basically, what's happening is that ballots have already been sent to all of Biden's delegates, and they're even now being sent back filled out. Those ballots are being returned in the course of the next week. And keep in mind, according to the DNC's own rules, those delegates are legally bound to Biden. So this may explain his unwillingness to step down. He knows he's got the delegates, and those delegates are right now confirming his nomination this week. Now, if you remember, this was necessary in order to make sure that Biden makes the Ohio ballot. The deadline for getting on that ballot is the first week of August. And so what this means is while the powers that be and the legacy media are all freaking out over Biden and trying to get him to drop out, the Biden campaign is sending out ballots to the very delegates who are legally bound to support Biden, such that Biden may indeed be the official Democrat nominee by the end of the week. Make no mistake, none of this is good news for the Democrats. Democrat operatives wanted Biden to drop out before those ballots were sent out. Now that they're out and being returned, it's going to be a logistical and legal nightmare were Biden to politically collapse before November. So despite all of the prognostications to the contrary, it does indeed look as if Biden is going to be the nominee. And as far as the powers that be in Washington are concerned, that is about as bad as it could possibly get. Here's your opportunity to tell big tech tyrants where they can stick it. Click on that link below and download our brand new cancel-proof Turley Talks app, and you can sign our special declaration of restoration. That's our petition to big tech that declares a new day is dawned. They are no longer in control, and we are taking our nation back. We've already got over 1,000 signatures of courageous patriots, and yours is next. Click on that link below or go to fight.turleytalks.com right now.